see right now is a fear of death. And we're seeing people go to excessive extremes because they are scared to death of dying, because this is all they know is what's here. They don't know of an afterlife. They don't even understand that there will be an afterlife, whether it's heaven, hell, or whatever they choose.
Okay, so the guy that's talking is saying that uh, non-Christians' fear of dying led to a panic over COVID-19. Um, okay, so this guy says that since non-Christians don't understand an afterlife, they're afraid to death of dying, which everybody, no matter who you are, religious, non-religious, whatever, you're going to be afraid of death. Some people more than others. It's there's a fear of the unknown. And just because you claim to know of an afterlife does not mean you're not going to be afraid. This guy is trying to think like he's morally better than everybody else, which is why he's not afraid of COVID. But more than likely, this guy has isolated himself, because why are they all in separate rooms on video talking instead of in the same room if none of them are afraid of dying?
It's their choice through Christ. So that's one thing that stands out to me is the whole culture was built around understanding that you are going to go into eternity. Are you ready to go into eternity? And so the response is quite different public policy wise. If you're surrounded with leaders who understand a biblical worldview, what you do is call for days of prayer and fasting. If we can get a hold of God on this and get God to intervene, then we can see an end to this.
Oh, okay. So a virus evolved, and the way to stop it from being a pandemic is to fast pray and hope God intervenes. Um I mean, uh if the pandemic is according to God's will, why would, praying actually stop it? And if as some others believe, COVID-19 is all part of God's plan of revelation. So, if that is the case and God has planned for this pandemic, why would a few people praying convince God to stop his plans for a couple of people? It's, I'm trying to get at that, what's the point in praying if you believe your God plans things to happen? You're thinking that you know better than your own God. And um in all, um a fictional being has no ability to do anything whatsoever. So fasting, praying, and hoping God will take care of stuff would just be something similar to the Black Plague, where they believed it was God's retribution and stuff. So all they did was kill a bunch of people and then hope that their God would find favor upon them and stop the plague. I mean, we could have something like that again, but why when we've gotten so much smarter?
And so while we did everything we could medically, Dr. Benjamin Rush is a great example of an early doctor who did so much with the yellow fever epidemic. We did everything we could medically, but we also relied on God, unlike Governor Cuomo today, who said, death rate's going down. We did this. God did not do it. God had no part. Oh my gosh, we would never have thought of saying that in a previous generation.
Okay, yeah, God had nothing to do with anything. It was because people decided to quarantine themselves or let themselves be quarantined and, shut down the nation to help stop the spread of the virus. Because if you understand how a virus works, especially like COVID-19, it spreads through uh, saliva and spit and stuff. So if you're infected and you cough, it's gonna get on everybody else. So if you quarantine yourself, you're less likely to spread that disease to other people, stopping or at least slowing down the spread of a virus. Um, so yes, it is the people that stopped it, not your God. Because if your God actually wanted to stop it, he could just not have it exist. It would be that easy. Um, yeah. Kumo did say that it was the people that lowered the cases of COVID, not God, because Kumo is telling the truth. It is because of people that it got stopped, not because of a fictional being.
And
And Dave,
such
boy,
a
David, you're
difference.
right on the spot right there. And we've talked about the governor's comment as well. And I just shook when
Yeah.
I heard him make that comment, because I say it's like the kings of Psalm 2 lifting their fist to the God of heaven and saying, "Who are you? We can do what we want."
Yep, we can do what we want, and especially if that means saving other people from a disease that, many Christians are believing that it's part of God's punishment. If this is God's punishment and people are able to go against his punishment and save people, well, fuck that God.